When you were talking about the appointments and the paying of the bills because of the dementia, you have found that this was an area that needed some help and assistance.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You have to take time out of your day, or your family, whoever is going to take your mom to her appointments and things like that. Do you use her card to pay for appointments, or like
her bank card?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so there's no.
I'm on her bank account also, so
Good.
that person should be on that bank account.
Right.
So.
Right.
And we're joined.
Good. Good. Well, it's sort of like a cycle. When we're young, they're a part of our bank account, and then we're in our prime, they get kicked off.
Yep.
And then as they get older, we're then on their bank account because for reasons like this.
I have to tell you, I did not want to do it because I wasn't clear as to whether I would be responsible for her financial matters, period, if I was on her account and being her power of attorney. I'm responsible to make decisions for her, but not liable for anything in the past that was done.
Right.
So, and I had to be clear on that because I didn't want it to affect my life because I still have my family, my household to take care of, my own bills.
Right.
Try not to mix money.
Right.
So it's very difficult because I don't write checks off her account. I try to pay her stuff online, and if I have to, I'll go to the ATM versus the bank so I can have a trail of me taking X amount out, and then I'll put it in my account and write that check out for whatever she needs. And that may be a hassle. You may find a better way.
Right.
But I feel better than having two checks that I have to balance off. So I just don't have time.
All right. In your experience of where you are with caring for your mom, do you feel through your friendships and church relationships and things like that, people are really preparing themselves to be caretakers?
Well, with me and what I see, people are being forced to do it.
Without being proactive about it. Wow.
And I have some people, like a young lady, she reached out to me from church. Asked me questions about it. But I think because her parent is not in the same state, and they haven't actually moved that person to the state, she didn't have time to talk.
Okay.
So she's just still hanging out there. So sadly, it's going to come where a real crisis occurs, and then she's not going to know what to do, because of time. Everybody works and they have their own children, grandchildren, and things of that nature. But I think people are in the place now that I know of are really being forced to do these things and not think about it ahead of time. And if they do think about it ahead of time, they'll think about it, they'll ask her questions too, and then they set it to the side and forget about it until something happens, like the parent goes to the hospital. Then it'll come back up again.
Yeah, so. I can see that. I can see that in this generation where the proactiveness isn't as, or where it should be, but yet we wait until something happens and it's like, we're procrastinators, basically.
It's like, okay, I can't deal with that right now. I'll deal with it later. Yeah.
Until it's a need, I'll address it. But because it's not a need or priority, I'm going to keep living my life. And
I gotta tell you, people, they don't want to deal. They don't want to be bothered. And this is why you have parents in homes. This is why you have, it's a whole host of issues. Like, I sit and I go over my mother's medication on a regular basis. I check out how she's feeling, how things are interacting. I'm on the internet. I'll call my sister because she's home, and I ask her if I don't have time to look up all these drugs and how they interact with one another. Can you look this up and see what's going on? And I take that packet to the doctor. If I find something and say, listen, I don't think this is right. This is not helping her. Why is every single medication that she's taking upsetting her stomach? Because that's what it does. You can't find anything else or something that I can give her to help her stomach out, because she's not going to get better if she's releasing all the medicine that you give her. It needs to stay down so it can help her.
Exactly.
So, and it's tough. And people, like I said, people are busy. I can't fault people, but they don't take the time out. I go sit and I go in the doctor's office with her. Even if one of my children take her, they have to go sit in the doctor's office if I can't get off at that time. Call me. I can talk, put me on speaker, and we can talk to the doctor together. I just physically can't be there. And this is what we do. And I have a note. I write like a whole list of questions down with all her paperwork, her medical cards and everything, and I give it to her. This is the list that I need you to ask. And you get your pen out and you write the quick answer. And if it's not sufficient, I'll call the doctor back, and we'll just have to rehash it and go over it again. And people don't have time to do that. And you see so many elderly people, okay, I'll drop you off. They can't even walk through the door. They get dropped off, and they're just sitting there.
Wow.
And then they don't remember what the doctor said. So they'll say, oh, I'm fine. Nothing.
Right.
Because they don't remember, and it's sad that you see. I see it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I'm glad I'm talking to you because it seems like, I mean, you got this down pat. And like you said, you 13
not really,
years
I'm trying.
and
It's still a lot of pieces, like right now.
Right.
Because she doesn't own any property other than a vehicle. She doesn't have a house that she could sell because she lives with me.
Right.
I am in the process of applying to the state Department of Aging for assistance should something happen down the line where she needs to be in a facility.
Right.
Because through my research, a facility, not even one of the best, can cost $10,000 a day. I don't have $10,000 a day.
That's above the insurance doesn't cover.
It may cover a portion, but it depends on your insurance. Right. And if it does, if your insurance say, okay, I'll pay $200, you still got the rest to pay.
Right.
You know, so.
Now, is she on Medicaid or on your insurance? Like, how does that work?
She's retired.
Okay, so
she has Social Security and her retirement from the state.
Okay.
So, at 62, you have to take Medicare. So right now, it's a program that you can apply for Medicaid.
Okay.
But you have to make a certain amount, under a certain amount of money.
Right.
So.
Right.
And I'm in the process of trying to do that. And it's a lot of paperwork. And you have to recertify on a yearly basis. So.
Wow.
Yeah, and you have to have like 3 years worth of bank statements.
Right.
So if the person did have money or sold a house 3 years ago, and they see that, they're gonna want money.
Wow.
Yeah. To take care of that person. So it's a lot of pieces. I'm still trying to get it together. So.
Right. You're saying you don't have a handle on it, just from again your responses. It does seem that way, but you're in it, you're living it, so you would know more. But I have to ask you if you take the time, you take the time, and if not, you have the children, taking your mother to her appointments. What about the other caretakers out there that have yet to get a grasp of that type of support or how to juggle that? Because you're a manager. You're not some entry level, if I'm there, well. If I'm not, oh well. Like, you oversee many people.
Yes.
So how does that affect you, how do you handle that for all the other caretakers out there that could be in the same situation? Is there assistance as far as help groups for caretakers?
You know what? It could be, but I haven't reached out to any.
Okay.
And it's funny that I just coming upon talking to people every now and again. I think I listen a lot more.
Okay.
Because some people have the similar situations, and they may start off talking to me, trying to help me, but I end up listening to them and helping them. Right. And it's funny, I speak to a lot of people in the profession of caregiving, but they have a similar situation, so they go to work every day and care for the elderly and the sick. But then they also have this at home too, care for one of their parents or both of their parents. I would say that you have to just keep in mind, I've come to the conclusion that I have to take care of me, and my mother is an extension of me. Okay. So if she's not doing well, I'm not doing well. I'm not going to be productive at work because I'm going to be worried about her and what's going on. So you must make the time. So if I have to make her appointments all in the evening and go every night, I'll have to do that. If I have to do it during the day, luckily I'm blessed enough to be able to work from home. So I can step out and take her and then come back and finish if I have to work all night. Finish doing what I'm doing. And stay in contact with my people. Via email or making phone calls. So it's pretty tough. You can't let it take over. Because it's really stressful. And stress can cause more problems. But above all, they have to remember to take care of themselves, because if you're stressed and you're having headaches and passing out or just can't function, you can't take care of anyone.
True.
And so you have to take care of yourself first, which is it's a challenge. But you have to put it in perspective. You have to put it in boxes. Oh, I need to do this. I need to do that. You have to plan just a little bit better. Most people don't. It's on the fly. But you have to take the time and set out and put a schedule on paper. You have to. Even with the medication, very important. You must always have a list of the person's medication.
Gotcha.
when they take it, the milligrams or what have you, because the doctors are always going to ask for that.
Right.
Because
True.
they may give something else, and they need to see if it's going to interact with
True.
what they have. The same problem that I have, and I go through all the time. It's
Right.
like, well, this is for this, but that's affected them. You know, so
Right.
you got to be careful.
You got to stay on it.
Right.
So that's a lot, because not only are you staying on it for yourself, you're staying on it and your family and your kids. You know, you have an additional person. I have to swing right now because if I'm not mistaken, in her better times where she was more active, Mom was dating.
Yes.
And living with you.
Yes. She was.
How does that work where your parent could be still active but yet you're a caregiver and then they start bringing people home? How does that work? Because again, it's like a cycle change where when we're young, they're like, you don't bring nobody up in my house and do that. How does that happen? You have kids and a husband.
Oh, no, because we had this relationship that my mother fully understood that this is her home, but it's my house, my rules.
Right.
Just like a teenager.
Right.
I have children.
Right.
There will be none of that.
Right.
Okay, living room. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And if you need to spend more time, they have a place to go. They have a home, things of that nature. So you have to set the ground rules. Well, I'm grown. Understood.
Right.
Now, if you want to take the chance and go try to find a place and live on your own just so you can have company, I'm happy to help.
Right. Right. I just thought that was so funny and cute back in the day.
Oh, yeah, we had those conversations.
The senior community was popping.
Yeah.
Grandma was dating.
Yes, I got the whole, I'm grown.
Yeah.
I said, yes, you are grown. I'm not trying to take over your life, but I know what's required in my house and what I don't want my children to see. Just like I had curse-free DVD player. Right. Certain things are not allowed. Right. You know, I'm sorry.
Right. Amen. After all that we have discussed today, is there anything else that you would like to share to those that will be looking at this video?
Yes. Depending if you are chosen or you are, I'm going to say forced because sometimes it happens, to be the caregiver. Do not dwell on your siblings and what they're not doing or anyone else and what they're not doing because that will drive you crazy because you can't control anyone else. So you do what's required of you. And the way I feel about it, like my husband shared with me, he said it's not you. The Lord put you in this position for a reason. Perhaps you are the only one that can care for her the proper way. Right. So her, meaning my mother. Right. So don't dwell on what, you know, your brother, your sister, even though you may be the youngest, what they're not doing because it's just going to cause a lot of rift between you, you know. And you carry it, you get mad, you try to, you know, talk to your spouse, but just don't go online posting things. I have to do this and that and the other, and my sister and my brother, they ain't doing nothing. You know, don't do that because you only make a bad situation worse, you know. And that parent feels that too because my mother has dementia. She goes in and out from time to time. But she feels and she sees who does what. And she gets upset about it. And I don't need her to be upset because then she'll get sick. Right. She'll get worse. So no need to do that. Just try to keep it down. Amen. That's all I can say. Just keep it down because it doesn't matter. I can't say fair. I always tell my children the word fair. I don't even know why they have it in the dictionary unless they're just talking about a play area. Because there's no such thing as fair. Right. So just don't even think about what's fair. You just do what's required of you.
Okay. Powerful words.